Honestly, if I had to guess, I think the NHL is probably finished for the year, and if it does return, I would say it's going to be right into the playoffs, and we're probably not going to see any more regular season games, which is super unfortunate, but let's just hope that we get hockey back sometime soon. With that said though, I want to start doing some one from every team videos for the end of the season, and I'm going to start it off by doing the most valuable player from every NHL team this season. And remember, this is just strictly my opinion. If you guys disagree, just make sure to go down in the comment section and let me know who your picks would be. I am making this video under the assumption that we're not going to see any more regular season games this year. I hope I'm wrong, but let's get right into the video. Here is every NHL team's MVP from the 2019-20 season. And if you are new and you want to see more NHL content like this, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We're going to go in alphabetical order, so beginning with the Anaheim Ducks, my pick for their MVP is actually Adam Henrique. He led the team in goals, points, played in every single game possible, and overall had a really solid and consistent season for them. Other aspects of his game were very good as well. He was great in the faceoff circle, had a pretty decent giveaway to takeaway ratio too. For a team that didn't really have a good year, I think he played very well. The Arizona Coyotes, I definitely have to give it to goaltender Darcy Kuemper. Now, he did only play in 29 games, but when he was playing, he was arguably the best goaltender in the entire league. A .928 save percentage, a 2.22 goals against average. He had an amazing year. If only the Coyotes would actually start giving their goaltenders some goal support, they would actually be a playoff team. The Boston Bruins, you could probably go a couple different ways, but I'm gonna give it to David Pastrnak. 48 goals, 95 points in 70 games. He's just an exceptional player and had an amazing year. I will give honorable mentions to Tuukka Rask, who's having a great year as well, and Brad Marchand, but I think the answer has to be Pastrnak. Buffalo, only one right answer here, and it's Jack Eichel. He is that team. He is that franchise. They have to start putting a team around him that can actually compete, because the past 2 years have honestly been pretty tough to watch. But for Eichel's sake, at least he is having a lot of individual success. Moving on now to the Calgary Flames, my pick for them is Mackinnon. I believe that he's the best player on that team. He's definitely the best complete player. He can literally do it all, and this season he had 61 points in 69 games, which led the team. He's somebody that you'd obviously hate to play against, but love to have on your team, and I think he had a great year, and he's my MVP for the Flames. The Carolina Hurricanes, I'm gonna go with Sebastian Aho. 66 points, 38 goals in 68 games, an amazing year. He's already such a good two-way player at such a young age. I will give big honorable mentions to guys like Teuvo Teravainen, Andrei Svechnikov, Jacob Slavin, but I feel like this team will go as far as Aho takes them. The Chicago Blackhawks, I definitely feel like it has to be Patrick Kane. Year after year, he just continues to be such a dominant offensive player for the Blackhawks. He's got 84 points in 70 games this year. He plays more minutes than any other forward on the team. The dude is just a beast, and 100% in my opinion is their MVP. The Avalanche, this was an extremely easy pick. It's got to be Nathan MacKinnon. 93 points in 69 games, the third best team in the entire NHL, and what he was able to do while his wingers on his top line were injured was honestly pretty amazing. He didn't miss a beat, the team didn't miss a beat, and I think he definitely has to at least be a finalist for the Hart Trophy this season. Moving on now to the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm giving it to the rookie Elvis Merzlikins. When Korpisalo went down with that injury earlier in the year, everybody really counted the Blue Jackets out, but Merzlikins went on an incredible run and played amazing. A .923 save percentage, 2.35 goals against average, 5 shutouts, such a big reason why Columbus had such a good year. Next up we have Dallas, and I'm gonna give it to their goaltender as well, Ben Bishop, but my honorable mention for them is actually their backup Anton Hudobin, who had a ridiculously good season as well. Right now, Bishop has a record of 21, 16, and 4 with a 2.50 goals against and a .920 save percentage. Early in the year, this team looked dead in the water, but Bishop was a massive reason why they were able to pull themselves together and have a really good season. The Red Wings, pretty slim pickings here, but in my opinion, it's easily Jonathan Bernier. He had an extremely good season for a team that was historically bad. He accounted for 15 out of the 17 wins the Red Wings had, has a .907 save percentage and a 2.95 goals against. Pretty much every game he was hung out to dry, and so many times he found ways to keep the Red Wings in games, and for that reason, he's my MVP. For Edmonton, you can only pick one, so I guess they'll go with Draisaitl, and remember, it is just based off of this season alone. He has played more games than McDavid, obviously had a ridiculous point total with 110 points in 71 games. Draisaitl was an absolute machine this season, and I definitely think at this point has to be the favorite for the Hart Trophy. Moving on now to the Panthers, and I'm definitely going to go with Alexander Barkov. I know Jonathan Huberdeau had a really good offensive season and led the team in points, but Barkov's overall impact on the game is just so massive for this team. He's such an important player for them. If he's healthy, every season from now for the next 7 years, I say he's probably going to be their MVP. Moving on now to the Los Angeles Kings, my pick is easily their captain, Anze Kopitar, who had a really good bounce back year, even though the team as a whole didn't really have the greatest year. However, they did finish the season on a 7-game win streak and are 8-1-1 in their past 10 games. In the coming years, I'd really like to see Kopitar on a contender because he's still a very good player and LA is just in the beginning of their rebuild. Minnesota, a couple guys having a really good year. Kevin Fiala, Alex Stalock's been playing very well, but their MVP in my opinion is 100% Ryan Suter. The man is just an absolute horse on the blue line. 48 points in 69 games, averages about 24.5 minutes of ice time per game. Without him, they would not have had the year that they had. He's definitely their MVP. Next up, we have the Habs, a team that had some awful injury luck this season, but I'm going to give their MVP to Thomas Tatar, who for the most part has been healthy and in my opinion has been their most consistent and reliable forward throughout the entire season. 61 points in 68 games, he really had a career year. Nashville as a team didn't have the greatest year, but their MVP is 100% their captain Roman Josi in my opinion. 65 points in 69 games, averages almost 26 minutes of ice time per night, which is ridiculous. He's one of the very best defensemen in the entire NHL, and like I said, definitely their MVP. Next up, we have the Devils, and for them, I'm going to give it to the rookie goaltender Mackenzie Blackwood, a 22-14-8 record, 2.77 goals against, and a .915 save percentage for a team that currently sits 26th overall in the entire NHL. I think as a rookie goaltender, he has done an amazing job this year. For the New York Islanders, my pick definitely has to be Matthew Barzal. Like I kind of said with the Carolina Hurricanes and Sebastian Aho, I think the Islanders go as far as Matthew Barzal takes them. I will give honorable mentions to the goaltending because they've been really good this season as well, but Matthew Barzal is definitely their MVP. While Zibanejad was playing ridiculous the past 20 games of the season, I still think the MVP of the Rangers this year had to be Artemi Panarin. 95 points in 69 games. The first year he comes in, the team is competing for a playoff spot. It's unfortunate the season got cut short because the Rangers were going on a very good run, and if they got into the playoffs, I think Panarin definitely would have been one of the favorites for the Hart. Ottawa, it would have been Peugeot, but they traded him, so I'm actually going to go with Connor Brown, who a lot of people may not expect, but he's actually having a really underrated year and overall has been a really good player for Ottawa. Honorable mentions to Brady Tkachuk and obviously Anthony Duclair. If Duclair didn't go on that extreme cold spell, he probably would have been their MVP, but yeah, for Ottawa, I'm going to go with Connor Brown. Moving on now to the Flyers, I'm going to go with goaltender Carter Hart, a 24-13-3 record, a 2.42 goals against and a .914 save percentage. For so many seasons, this team had been looking for good goaltending, and this season they finally got it, and look where they are. For the Penguins, my pick is definitely Evgeny Malkin, 74 points in 55 games. I know this team had abysmal injury luck throughout the season, and while Sidney Crosby was down, Malkin really carried the team and played very well. I think consistently throughout the year he's been their best player, so I'm going to go with him for their MVP. The Sharks. What a disappointing year it was for these guys. I know Ottawa loves that they had a disappointing year, but there isn't really too many choices here for their MVP, so I guess I'll go with Evander Kane. 26 goals in 64 games. I feel like he did have a pretty strong offensive season. Nothing exceptional, but again, there wasn't too much to choose from here. The defending champion St. Louis Blues, my pick for their MVP is their captain, Alex Pietrangelo. He was on pace to have the best offensive season of his career, 52 points in 70 games. His career high is 54. He did that back in 2017-2018. And with him, it isn't just about the offense, obviously. He's an extremely good all-around defenseman and a great leader for this team. And St. Louis is a team that isn't good because of one player. They got so many dudes that can play, so honestly, there would have been a lot of good choices for them. Moving on now to the Tampa Bay Lightning, I'm definitely going to go with Nikita Kucherov for their MVP. Earlier in the year when they weren't winning as much, he wasn't really putting up big numbers, but ever since then, they were one of the best teams in the NHL, and he was one of the best offensive players in the NHL. When he puts up big numbers, they win games, and I'll give an honorable mention to Vasilevsky too. For the Maple Leafs, I definitely think it has to be Austin Matthews, 47 goals, 80 points in 70 games, and a big thing for him is he stayed healthy this season. That's something he struggled with over the past 2 seasons. Consistently throughout the year, I think he has been their best player, and when he's on the ice, he's usually always dangerous. Moving along now to the Vancouver Canucks, and I'm definitely going to give it to JT Miller. A lot of people may think it should be Pettersson, even like Quinn Hughes or something like that, but JT Miller, in my opinion, this season has been their most important player. He has literally been a perfect perfect fit, 72 points in 69 games, which is career high offensive numbers. And it's not just that, I think he's a great leader for a lot of the young guys on this team as well. The Vegas Golden Knights, I'm definitely going to go with Mark Stone. Pacioretty is leading the team in points with 66 points in 71 games. He's had a great year, but Mark Stone is their MVP. Just his impact on the game in both ends of the ice is just second to none on this team. Obviously, everybody knows he's an elite two-way player, 63 points in 65 games. He has really had a great season. Washington, I was really close to giving it to John Carlson, but decided to go with the grade 8. He just ages like fine wine. 48 goals in 68 games, 67 points, averages the most time on ice out of any forward on the team. Just everything about what he's done this season has been extremely impressive. And now for the final team of the video, we have the Winnipeg Jets. An easy pick here, it has to be Connor Hellebuyck. They would not be where they're at right now if it wasn't for him. A 31-21-5 record, a 2.57 goals against, and a 922 save percentage, a Vezina caliber season. Obviously they have a lot of forwards playing very well this season too, but I think unanimously their MVP has to be Hellebuyck. That is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Those are my MVPs from all 31 NHL teams this season. Again, if you disagree with any of my picks, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below what yours would be. Like I said at the start, I hope I'm wrong about thinking that the NHL regular season is done. I really want to watch some hockey. I've been having withdrawal over the past couple of days. Remember, everybody stay safe out there, wash your hands, and if you guys did enjoy today's video, please feel free to go down there and drop a like on it. And if you guys are new around here and you want to see more NHL content like this, make sure to click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys all in the next video.